Peace, everybody. Greetings and salutations. Knock, 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 knock. It's a Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Let's get straight to the point, everybody. It's a call-in show. You niggas got 30 minutes starting from right now to click the link in the chat to get in on this call-in show. Otherwise, Will and I are going to bid you adieu, okay? Because Will is not with the shits tonight. I, too, am not with the shits. I am exhausted by these triple-digit temperatures that are sweltering over us right now in the mid-Atlantic. I am exhausted by imperialist America and imperialist is not real antics over the past several days. I am exhausted by peak crackerism rearing its ugly head once again in America. I am tired, quite tired. I was too tired. The stories that I had intended, the stories I had intended to bring to you today were exhausting me with each subsequent click of article and video. I said, nope, not today, Satan. No. But what I will do, here's what I will do, though. Here's what I will do. So at times I forget, been such a long time. I forgot that I was fine. I forgot that I'm nice with this shit. Sometimes, not really, because I'm a Leo. I never forget, to really be honest. But to be factual and truthful, I forget that I like to interview people. So I would like to interview you nigglets and non-nigglets. For whomever clicks on the link, for whomever is so brave to press a said bouton, press le bouton. Whichever once amongst you is brave enough to click that button, you will get interviewed by me. If no one is brave enough, then I will bid you all adieu. Adieu. Because I'm tired, okay? Oh, and I want to big up, shout out to the We Do Not Care Club. and shout out to our Madam President of the We Do Not Care Club, a club that was created on TikTok for women going through perimenopause and menopause to let all the rest of you know we do not care. Okay, my perimenopause right now beating my ass. Okay. Perimenopause is up. Okay, the judges, the fucking first 3 rounds, the judges have decided those rounds go to perimenopause. I'm losing this fight at the moment. So, anywho, I do not have the patience because we do not care. So, I'm here for entertaining thoughts in the chat. I mean, there's a lot of things we could get into. I mean, I guess we could talk about some things. I'm not talking about anything in particular. We could talk about Trump. Listen, y'all got Trump cussing out here. Y'all got Trump cussing out here. And shame on Trump. This dumb motherfucker mad that Israel done broke the ceasefire. Nigga, have you been paying attention? Do you not know how your homies roll? Your homies don't adhere to ceasefires. That's not how Israel get down. They done broke how many ceasefires? 100 at least? Oh, yeah. No. Trump out there cussing. I would look at the NATO summit updates, but again, I'm not sure if I am in laugh mode or cry mode. Who really knows? Who knows? I don't know. Do I care if Trump makes a fool of himself on the world stage? Probably not. Do I care that all them crackers is going to do like a lot of like crackers tend to do? The crackers going to stick together? Likely so. Yes. Am I still rooting for Iran for letting the chopper sing over is not real? I'm very heartened by that. I'm very saddened also that a number of Iranians have been killed. And I'm also deeply continue to be saddened by the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Yes, the updates that continue to come out of Palestine are horrifying. The colonizers have not taken their foot off the gas of the genocide, not even for a second. So it's fuck them, middle finger to is not real all day. There's people in our country dying from police violence. There is outright brutality, people being kidnapped, people being stolen. I said, this is authoritarian bad times for the United States. How I hope not to be here while all this was going on. I hoped that I would be in a foreign land watching America disintegrate, but I would be on the outside. And here I am finding myself on the inside, not where I want to be. This is not where I want to be. When it all falls down. I did not want to be in town when it all falls down. I wanted to be over there, way over there, way over there when it all falls down. And yet here we are. Here are most of us. Although, shout out to Damien Stoner Loner. Damien, I see you in the chat. I would say lucky you. you being, I guess, in the UK, but I saw the UK. Y'all think, well, some people in the UK are convinced that Putin's about to let the chopper sing all over the United Kingdom. And I said, well, I don't think I'd want to be nowhere near Europe either. I want to be in the global south where my people are. I would love to be in the Sahel. Woo! Shout out to the Sahel. Woo! Shout out to our Central and South American homies. Woo! Lucky y'all. Y'all got the best seats. Y'all got the best seats to all this shit. I have terrible seats. Yeah, of course, the one time I get great seats. I've got great seats present for the falling down of the empire whilst I'm in the belly of the beast. I don't like it here at all. Not at all. So anyway, hold on. Let me look at my thing. I don't see nobody. Wait. Nope.
You got two people.
Oh,
two of your favorites.
we got two faves.
Yeah, we got the great Musa. And we got nephew Don Hammond.
What's good, MC Uhuru?
Bring them everybody up. Bring everybody up. Uhuru, nephew Don. Uhuru, Musa.
Uhuru, Musa.
Assalamu alaikum,
y'all. So first off, first order of business, you said some things, auntie, on the internet. And I got some preguntas. So you was talking about, you said somebody was talking about, you said you was talking about somebody was asking about me at the National Organizing Conference, and I got to know who that was. Don't, is your house on fire? Oh, Lord.
It might be. My house might be on fire. Give me a second here.
Okay. Not me on the cliffhanger. I'm screaming. If you don't, America.
My bad, I muted you because
No, mute me, please. Jesus, okay. This thing is loud. It's fine.
Yeah, give me a thumbs up when you back.
Okay.
So how y'all doing?
I'm good. Musa, I've been checking out Black Men Build. You know, I've been in the audience for the political education, stuff like that. Y'all check out Black Men Build. Y'all get on their newsletter. Y'all see what they be doing. Theory Thursdays with Black Men Build.
Shout out Black Men Build. You know, I'm not a member of Black Men Build. I'm a supporter. And they got Theory Thursdays, Wartime Wednesdays, which has been really good lately. Find a local circle in your area and go join it. Don, I was a little disappointed because I was expecting to meet you at this National Black Radical Organizing Conference.
So that's who used to. Oh, okay. See, Auntie Kim was being messy. She said somebody fine was asking about you, and I said
the evidence.
But the context in which with the asked about, you know what I'm saying?
I told Auntie Kim, I said, you know, if I'm here and you're my auntie, Don must. I'm not good at family trees, but Don has to be my little cousin or something.
I see. But it was, listen. What had happened was, what had happened was the way that my bank account is set up. Right, it's gonna take 3 to 7 business days for that transfer, and if you come up on me too quick, you know.
I do know. I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm in my car that's falling apart right now. So actually, I know way too well what you're talking about. But while we wait on Kim, let me, just say, because now we extended family, little cousin. I appreciate your energy every time. I see you sometimes hop on here. Sometimes you be hopping on Diallo stream. I've seen you once or twice on the BLM stream. I appreciate the energy you bring. You keep it consistent. You looking and pointing and trying to figure out which camera so you could break the fourth wall. I have officially stolen that as of last week, so I appreciate you for that.
I seen that. I did.
My nephew sets trends out here. He's a trendsetter.
And then plus I got relegated. I'm relegated to an iPad 9, and the camera follows you. I don't know if it's doing that. StreamYard, you ghetto.
Now, Kim, I only have about 10 or 15 minutes because I actually do have to get to work. But I did want to just say, you and Amber the other day on the morning show were doing a lot. Y'all were doing a lot. Because I was just casually listening, and then my name came up, and I said, "Oh, what's this about?" And so,
Musa, if you've been watching me, then you know objectification. It's one of my character flaws. It's a flaw. I admit it. It's a flaw, but I'm sorry.
I disagree. I think cis men should always be objectified. If you are not objectifying a cis man, you are in the wrong.
I tend to agree to an extent, but there was something Kim said that I have added to my Tinder bio, which was their body is their pronouns are they them, but the body is he him, and I have this is I'm just coming clean about the thieving and the stealing that I'm doing because that has been incorporated into the bio. So.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. What do your nosy butt want, Terrence?
Don't deny. Don't deny us out here. Listen, Musa. Listen. It's listen. Listen, Musa. I'm trying to. Where's the workout plan, baby? I feel like you need to put the rest of us on because you out here just hogging it all by yourself. Like, jeez.
And not posting pictures.
Oh no, digital security. I got to keep the body to myself. My digital hijab is on at all times. But I actually do that. So I'm a personal trainer on the side, and one of the things we do in BAP Atlanta is me and another comrade actually do workout plans and a group workout for all the comrades. So, I think. There's I'm saying it's in the works. We expanded. We're thinking through what an expansion could look like. So
no, working out is important. Get them in all of them things going. The psychiatrists recommend that too. So
listen, I did kind of feel like a creepy auntie because I kind of I squeezed Musa's arm muscles a little. I'm like, and I had the thought, I'm like, Kim, you're doing too much. Leave this young man alone. Leave this young person alone. Leave him alone.
You and Amber.
I have crossed that Rubicon. You know what I'm saying? I'm that middle-aged lady now, squeezing on
period
on the young tender bodies, the adult consenting tender bodies. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm that. But no, I love Amber because Amber's a truth teller. Amber don't tell no lies. What do you think? What Amber got to lie about? Amber going to say the thing straight, no chaser. That's why I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of all my sisters telling the truth. But I mean, y'all, what Musa? Let me start with you because I know your time is limited. Nephew Don can hang out for a few minutes, but what? I don't know what are your top 3 right now? What's the top 3 issues, situations, imminent problems that we as a people need to be addressing? I understand Trump, Israel, all that spectacle is what it is, but there are real, we are staring down some real times within the stateside, and I feel as though preparation needs to be ongoing. So what do we as a people need to be prepping for? I know that's a very huge question for 10 minutes, but like
Yeah. I think I'll say there's two different fronts. I think there's an ideological war. Comrade Fidel Castro said we're in a ceaseless battle of ideas, and the battle of ideas could not be a more bloody front right now. And the big controversy online right now, which I might be joining Saturdays with Renee to discuss. I think this Saturday maybe is Beyonce on Juneteenth wearing a pro colonization Buffalo Soldiers shirt, and the shirt had an excerpt on it from this very racist book that was praising Buffalo Soldiers because they were, and this is what it said on the shirt. Basically destroying the quote enemies of peace and referring to Native Americans and Revolutionary Americans. That's what it said on the shirt she was wearing, and her fans are running with this and are praising it, and it's a whole discourse. But I think there's a deeper problem of like there's such a big push to push us from our Africanness right now, to make us believe we're American first and we've never been African and we're FBA. And I think at a time when there's World War IV, because let's remember World War III took place in the Congo. When World War IV is at our doorstep, for us to not know our Africanness and not understand our African place in this world right now as African people in a diaspora is a very, very dangerous time to be so confused. It's a dangerous time. So I'll say on one hand, there's that. On the other hand, it's the shit that you be talking about. We need skills. We need skills. We need to know how to close a wound. We need to know how to create a tourniquet, how to sew some stitches into someone's arm. We need to know how to do a little doomsday prepperism. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's twofold. On one hand, we got to really, really understand that the ideological battle could not be at a worse time. We don't have time to not understand our Africanness. And then two, we got to act like the war is looming over our heads, and what are the skills that we have to contribute to that? People don't even know their neighbors' names, right? They don't, even if you don't like your neighbor, you should at least know who they are and what they look like. So if someone else is in the mix who shouldn't be there, you're aware. And so there's just these very basic, rudimentary, because I know you and your neighbors,
Can I tell you though? Can I say something? I even have a little sympathy for that "See You Next Tuesday" broad over there because I know I don't know what the legal stat. That's not my business, but I can tell it's a shook vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's a shook vibe over there, and I don't like them, and I don't wish that kind of shit on them at all. And like I said, I actually I feel bad for them, to be honest. And I live in a black brown neighborhood. Fortunately, ICE has not been spotted like directly around here, but they've been in PG County. That's where Kilmar Abrego Garcia was kidnapped from, in this county. So we know that they out here. So I feel you though, Musa. Yeah.
But can we talk about them bars my nigga was dropping? Like, just straight mic drop, bruh. Like, came with that hot fire right quick fast. All I was gonna say is watch your local municipality meetings and stuff like that. Buena Park over there trying to spend $400,000 on a damn drone from, what is it, Flock Safety?
Oh God.
And I live here in Georgia, and there's reports. So the last 2 weeks, I'm not a formal journalist necessarily anymore, but there's always these instincts that just stick with you. Mm-hmm. And I've been hearing reports from a lot of friends that they keep on sending me pictures that they see all these tanks and military gear being transported on the highway left and right for the last 2 weeks straight. And then yesterday, new reports come out basically stating they're tapping on the Georgia military, and they're getting dozens upon dozens of troops and gear and surplus equipment ready for something in the Georgia, in the Georgia branches and bases of the military. Local media is reporting that, and so I'm like, that's my back door. I live 15 minutes from a Lockheed Martin plant. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like people really are not grasping the reality of the situation.
Musa,
And we
I
don't
got you directly in the chat. I need you to copy and paste that email somewhere. We literally do not have direct contact.
Okay. I don't
So
know how to use this, but let me see.
if can you get into you put in the private chat,
Yes,
nephew?
ma'am.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
So I watch, you guys know I'm 46, so I watch a lot of local news, whatever. But y'all, I'm watching the local news. I'm like, this shit is don't look up every day. Monday through Friday, it's 3 hours of don't look up. I'm like, it feels especially dystopian living in DC because it's like this is the shit y'all are talking about on the news. Like, hey, did you know that a study says that people who pick their nose are 12 times as more likely to die of cancer? And it's like this is the kind of shit that passes for news and information in our mainstream discourse. And I feel and again, I watch it like objectively. I'm not watching it to be informed. I'm watching it to see how the average person, likely in my age group or older, receives their news. What's the spin? What's the slant? What's the narrative? I watch it for those purposes. But I'm watching this shit. I'm like, dog, if this was all I watched, if this is all that I consume, you would not know that the shit is getting real and has gotten real a lot of places. So I mean, not just internationally, but domestically as well. But to your point, Musa, I'm curious, whether or not those troops are being assembled for some sort of, international deployment, or is it more troops going to be deployed on the streets of
Yeah.
America?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I think what a lot of people fail to understand is that the imperialist class plans years in advance, right? Like we've seen reports that this war sequence against Iran was actually practiced between the U.S. and Israeli military a year ago while Biden was still president. And then the exact sequence which was practiced was put into place last week. And so they plan very far in advance. And so sometimes I think people try to be Nostradamus and have these predictions and all that. But I think one thing we know for certain is like the price of oil, the price of eggs, the price of rent is all skyrocketing. The price of medicine is all skyrocketing. Like the conditions are getting to a place where what we saw in LA is just a test tube for what we're going to see more and more and more frequently. And like, I think something that was said at one of the National Black Radical Organizing panels by Derica Purnell and Sharice Burton-Stelly was we talk a lot about the militarization of the police, but not the policification of the military. And that really has stuck with me because the first time I was ever tear gassed at a protest was by the police. The second time was by the National Guard, right? And so it's like, this is a two-way street that's taking place. So I see these tanks and all this stuff, and I'm like, whether it's war abroad or they're waiting on us to hit the streets because they already know the price of eggs and the gas is about to double next week. Either way, like, you see what I'm saying? I think either way, we're the ones caught in the 360 deal, signed to Bad Boy Records either way, right?
Damn.
And so also, I will say too, because I know you cover these issues, I'm having a mind fuck of the contradiction of we're being told Iran hates women, Iran is evil, the evil women of Iran. The evil oppressors in Iran hate women. But I live in a state where 15 minutes away, they forced a dead black woman, literally dead, to hold a baby, right, a fetus inside of her womb for several months, and then not deliver the child, but extract it via C-section, weighing 1.8 pounds from a mother who had been brain dead since February, right? And so it's like the lies are so thin this time around, and they're so easy to see through. We're seeing that the Iron Dome is really aluminum foil. I feel like in this age of videos and social media and TikTok, like they know that the lies are just not sticking. They're not sticking. They're not hitting like grits. So, I don't know. I know that's a lot of rambling, but it's bad out here, y'all. It's bad out here, y'all.
I follow your train of thought anywhere, Musa. You know what I'm saying? You like James Baldwin out here, but James Baldwin that would beat your ass. Saying like, yes. Nephew Don, you being, in one of the centers of action in SoCal, to Musa's point, Southern California and Los Angeles in particular did not need the U.S. Marines nor the California National Guard to come out there and gas people, right? And to shoot rubber bullets at people and to falsely arrest and antagonize and kettle protesters and kidnap folks off the street. Tell me what you see, baby.
It's crazy out here. It really is crazy. And then unfortunately what I'm seeing is a lot of the ideological crisis that Musa was talking about earlier, and that's manifesting in those those FBA Negroes talking about some this ain't our fight and stuff like that. However, I just want to be clear that Unión del Barrio and Raza internationalism our 40-year kinship, are both a 40-year kinship with the Uhuru movement and African internationalism. Our struggle is tu raza es mi, tu lucha es mi lucha. And but it really is crazy out here. People are getting picked up off the streets. Unión del Barrio is organizing a community self-defense coalition, or has organized a community self-defense coalition, which is going around spreading information. And it started with the Association of Raza Educators, who were having Know Your Rights trainings for teachers. So it started with the teachers, and then it moved as it inflamed, as the domestic colonialism inflamed. It moved to the streets very quickly and very effectively. So shout out Unión del Barrio, always shout out Raza internationalism, and just shout out to those educators that are doing the work.
Listen, anybody that talks about this is not our fight, I understand that Black folks are skeptical and rightfully cynical about our willingness to stand with other groups when we feel as though other groups don't stand with us. And I think that, number one, we don't pay enough attention to folks that are outside of our community that do raise their voices for us. But if we just look the other way and or condone this, or I've seen some unfortunate videos of Black folks in America having words or encounters, confrontations with Latino folks and talking about that's why ICE coming to get you, blah blah blah. Nope, that's not it, everybody. That's not the attitude, okay? Because whatever you wish upon others will be visited upon us way worse. And I understand we already got it pretty bad, but listen, white folks don't lack nothing if not imagination, okay? So however bad we got it, y'all, it couldn't get worse. And if we just sit and allow and not at minimum at least speak out against, you know what I'm saying? I know people are reluctant, and I understand, not to have their bodies out there at this point in time. I get it, but at least raise your voice, say voice opposition. Don't just say that this is not our fight, because it may not be our specific fight on today, but shit, at the speed of which things are moving, it could easily be our fight come Friday. It could be our fight
also,
this weekend.
I think too, you always have to, this idea of like, this isn't our fight, they hate Black people, so we shouldn't stand with them. We have all ran into a racist Latino. Like, let's be blunt. We have all also ran into Black people who hate Black people. We have ran into Black people who hate Asian and Latino people. And I think we don't start with the basis of what we can get out of something. We start from the basis that we are all colonized, which includes our mentality. And so, you know what I'm saying? So you can talk to, you can go to any neighborhood in the U.S., any hood, and talk to a black person who will sit there and tell you for an hour why they don't like Chinese people and they don't trust them and they blah 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 and start spewing some nonsense. The same way I can go across the street to an all Mexican neighborhood and they can tell me why they hate black people. We're all colonized, and so I think the mental colonization piece is so far removed from like the mainstream discourse, and I'm like, we have to start there. And then two, it actually is our fight. African American, Black American, I know it's whatever you want to call it nowadays. It actually is our fight because any armed state agency receiving more power, more funds, more weaponry, more legal protection, all of these things inevitably, if you know anything about our history, can, will, and already have impacted Black people. You know, the idea that they're building prisons in El Salvador and now they're talking about potentially Libya as well to send migrants, quote unquote, is a half inch away from all three of our Black asses on this call being sent there. Right? Like Anne Frank, when we talk about Anne Frank, she was hiding from deportation. Right? Her family had lived in Germany for many, many generations, and she was hiding from deportation. Like, this is the equivalent of ICE is Anne Frank hiding in a closet. And I use that example because everyone can recognize that because it was pounded in our head in grade school. And so, you know, I don't feel like people I mean, even like with the Black Alliance for Peace, we talk about the 1033 program giving surplus military equipment to police and local agencies in your neighborhood. That includes ICE, right? So, like, Congress authorizes $1 trillion for war with Iran. Within a year, that same weaponry is with the police, is with ICE. So, you think yo black ass walking down the side of the road and an ICE agent who might even be masked and undercover at this point because they don't even show their faces, who wants to fuck with you, who wants to ask you where you from? Are you Haitian? Are you Jamaican? Let me see your papers. And you're like, papers? I was born in Georgia. What am I talking about? You don't think that's a very quick, slippery slope for you to be the one sitting in a transport van somewhere? Like, this isn't just theory and abstract. This is our literal history. Even when you look at people like Asada Shakur, right? She was by all means expelled and deported from this country by other means, right? All of these Panthers, all these Black Americans who were literally forced to leave this country, that is the result also of an expulsion, right? They chose to escape, right, before something else happened to them and they were deported to a prison. Because I think when we're talking about people being kidnapped off the streets, our young Black men and women being snatched from the sidewalks and put in prison is a kind of deportation from their own neighborhoods. So anyways, I say all that to say, like, this isn't some abstract thing. You literally just have to look at your history, spend 1 hour reading a book. I know nowadays reading a book or an audiobook is a lot for some people, but you got to do it. Read some Gerald Horne, Dr. Gerald Horne, read some Sharice Burton Stelly. But this is things that we're like weeks away from at this point because people are like, I want to sit at home because I voted for Kamala. And I'm like, well, Kamala would have probably personally put you in handcuffs, to be honest. Kamala would have actually said, I want to be the one to put them in the handcuffs. So I'm going to yield.
When I see the scenes out of Palestine and hear everybody, no one is immune from the Israeli violence in Palestine, from elders to children, right? And the ways that they will send the drones to assassinate people. I can see that happening here. You know what I mean? Like, I think about the young brother, and of course my brain departs me when I'm trying to remember this guy's name, but the brother, the literal soldier, the former veteran, who unalived like 5 cops in Dallas, and they sent the robot in to blow him up. And to date, he is the only person, American citizen, to be exploded by a robot in this country. And I said, oh, it's funny how blacks are the first for all these terrible deeds. Not the first per se, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, everything that's being done to Palestinians right now, that Palestine is the testing ground. Like, they're waiting to roll all that shit out on us here stateside, in addition to the tanks and the militarization and the MRAPs and all the stuff that they give our local police department. And it's like, people get ready. Okay. I don't know what this looks like in America, y'all. I assume it looks, I do know what it looks like on some level, but it's going to look ugly. And
it looks like spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on robots and stuff like that. Yeah, like $400,000 for a single drone, and to get on this. What is this gunshot identification software or hardware? Do y'all know anything about that? Little bitty
spot shotter or something different than shot spotter? The thing that is that describe what you mean,
something
baby.
like that. Like there's literally a radar that they call like these new security companies are coming up with that supposedly identifies exactly where gunshots are happening. Like
they have that in Baltimore. I think it's called Shot Spotter. Baltimoreans in the chat, DMVers, correct me on that. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, baby. Yes.
But everybody watch out for that in your local municipalities, like, because like the cities are starting to get on stuff like that. Like we have to oppose the spending the money on that. I should be getting my butt up and going to Buena Park City Council to oppose that, because we don't need more surveillance here. We need housing. Buena Park is one of those tourist attraction cities because we've got a place called Knott's Berry Farm.
Baby, you live out there?
Yes, ma'am.
So why did I'm sorry, not to get too far off topic, but what podcast was I listening to about the young black woman who was last seen at some well-known restaurant in Malibu, and then she disappeared. She got locked up by the LA County sheriffs, and they released her, and she disappeared. They don't know where she went. Anyway, I can't think of her name, but she has an interesting name, but she's from like LA anyway. But Knott's Berry Farm is the community where this county. God damn, Don, ain't no niggas out there. What is you doing out there?
No, ain't no niggas out here.
I heard the podcast. The lady told me it was no niggas out there. She didn't say that. That's not a direct quote, but very few blacks.
Very few
in the area.
Blacks. No, I've been out here for going on since 2011. Graduated from Buena Park High School in 2013 and stuff like that. Yeah. But it ain't but five. It ain't but five niggas.
Head on a swivel, nephew. Don't play no games. You keep something on you when you go outside. Okay, we don't. Nope.
I need you to find a local gym or go to one of your school, or just get you some little dumbbells and hit you some cardio and resistance training so you can hit strong and run far if you need to. You know what I mean?
Quiet as kept, I actually used to be a national champion Taekwondo fighter. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh, you breaking niggas down. Yes, I love it.
This is back when Jimmy Kim was still alive. Rest in peace, Jimmy Kim. 1988 Olympics, and his father, Chun Young Kim, who trained the Okinawan Army and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, you've been trained by masters. I'm more impressed. You better flex on them, nephew.
I did have to do that real quick.
Well, we appreciate the flex. Let me say this because I gotta go. But two things. One, you mentioned the show, a news story on the Remix Morning Show that we just covered. I'm a co-host on a radio show in Atlanta. We just covered the story related to the two twin young black boys in Atlanta, found dead, murdered, right? And just to give you an update to what I know is the latest. I'm sure there's more that I haven't been following, but these were two young, healthy, happy, top notch in their life, two young black boys. I can't remember. I think they were 18 or 19, twins. And they were supposed to be at the airport to travel somewhere. They were found over an hour, some change away at a mountain, dead. Police very quickly ruled it suicide, something that they suspect suicide. Obviously, the family is like, huh? They don't even hike. Why are they up in a mountain? They got a second investigation, or the family is now seeking an independent private investigation because they feel as though the police have disregarded all of their concerns. They have not done an adequate or accurate investigation. They're now seeking a private investigation. And I'm hoping that they'll sue the hell out of the county as well, because I think there's a lot of police misconduct going on as well, which also tells me that, you know, people don't know this. A lot of Georgia and Atlanta police departments also have gangs operating inside the prisons. Inside the departments. You know, a lot of people think of LA police gangs, Chicago police gangs. We got the good old boys, the Triple K clan down here in Tennessee and Georgia operating inside of our police departments. And so I suspect, this is just speculation, but I suspect that could also be a potential. And then, damn, let me forget my second point. There was something that Don has said. See, I'm old, y'all. I'm old.
What did I say?
Nonetheless,
Farm, the murder from that lady in LA.
Well, I mean, but to the point, guys. I mean, our people are still get abducted out here to satisfy racist fantasies. Like, you understand, like the racist whites, there's a bloodthirst for us that they still will snatch us, and it's not going to be like a national alert. Like, look out, black people! Another one has gotten snatched. Like, it's important that we still have these conversations, at least share the stories, because we're not out of the woods for this part of American hellscape, black in this country, right? Like, yeah, we could get kidnapped by some Christian white knight and something negative could happen to us or someone that we love simply because we are black, and won't nobody be none the wiser about what happened to us.
The United States is the ghetto right now, big time.
Yeah.
Well, not right now, excuse me. It's been that way, but this phase of domestic colonialism is particularly inflamed. I'll say that. And this is crazy.
Well, I will just, this isn't even what I was going to say, but I'm going to just squeeze it in here. You know, I want people to keep in mind that the U.S. has a 65-year blockade on the island of Cuba. It is just a 40-minute flight from the state of Florida, 90 miles off the coast of Florida. They have millions of black people in Cuba who are hungry. Every time I travel there, my friends and family are getting skinnier and skinnier and losing weight. We organized to bring them things like insulin, wheelchairs, ibuprofen. One of my very, 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 very close friends had to have a surgery 2 summers ago, and she had to bring the gloves and the masks and the PPE that the surgeons and nurses were using during her surgery because the hospital had none. So that's how dire this situation is. And I know we don't talk about Cuba enough, and I always just try to find my way to bring it in there and let people remind people that the U.S. doesn't just starve black people in the U.S. The U.S. is starving black people on this small island 90 miles off the coast because they decided socialism was the correct path for them, and they had an African revolution to make it happen. And they have been facing the vengeance ever since. And it was Cuba who offered hundreds of doctors after Hurricane Katrina while the U.S. was calling us refugees in our own country. It was Cuba who offered to send doctors off the coast of New York when Hurricane Sandy obliterated. It's Cuba every time who offers, and this I want to make sure all the listeners who are under age 30 hear this. Cuba offers free medical school to anyone under the age 30 from the U.S., from anywhere in the world. You don't even have to speak Spanish because your whole first year is social sciences in which they teach you the basics of Spanish. Your only requirement is that when you return to your home country, you work in an underserved and underprivileged area. This is Cuba's commitment to the world. Anyone listening, it is not too late for you to go and get medical school in Cuba from the top doctors in the world. So while they're under the boot of imperialism for 65 years surviving, they're still offering your ass the support you need to come back home and help your communities. So I'm gonna leave it at that with my little preachy outro. I appreciate you as always, Kim.
You drop mics, so you drop mics. You don't preach. You preach, but it's good talking. You talk good, baby. You talk real good.
I learned from you. I learned from you, Kim. I learned from you.
Oh, please. But Musa, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you calling in. I love you. I appreciate the work that you do. I appreciate who you are. I appreciate them biceps and triceps. So you keep up the good work, beloved. You keep up the good work all around, all around.
All right, bye, y'all. Peace, though.
Peace, peace, peace. Nephew,
There we go. I
how
had to
you
push
feel?
the button. Good. I feel very good. I'm high as giraffe pussy.
Listen, Will, do we have anybody on standby in the queue? Because we could take two at a time. You know what I'm saying? Okay, good. So well, not good, but I mean, great. But I get the time. I get to keep going. But Dawn, did you see how the universe just and then right? Okay, just double check. Okay,
but the email is there. I definitely hope.
Absolutely. But nephew, on some real to real, like I was gonna ask you a question and now I don't forgot what it was. Listen, thanks.
Everybody can't smoke that shit.
Listen, baby. Listen, Dawn, I'm gonna be listening to Wu-Tang and smoking my weed in 2033, okay? In the nursing home, okay?
You ain't gonna be in no nursing home.
Well, I don't know. Let all the dusties, tell us all you chicks ain't never been married. Y'all gonna die alone. You ain't got no kids. I ain't gonna die alone. I'm have a dog.
Right. A good one too.
That's right. Faithful, loyal to the end. But no, nephew, I be thinking about you out there. You know what I'm saying? I out there. And again, I never want to make one state in America sound worse than any other state because it's not. Right? We're all dealing with our particular variation of this American hellscape. Right? But I think about you, my nephew out there. So just be careful because I know Orange County Sheriff Department, them niggas is cracking this shit. Motherfucker too.
And Orange County Transit Authority OCTA has sheriff stationed on the buses now. Orange County, OCTA gifts OC sheriff 13 billion a year. 13 million a year for security. I'm look at the camera when I say this, America. Security. Yeah, $13 million a year, and so now they've heightened it up to where sheriffs are stationed on the. Girl, I got on the bus the other day to go get my eye exam.
Hold on the bus though, Don.
On the bus, y'all better be lucky my grandmother's standing over here. He was armed. He looked like G.I. Joe. He genuinely scared the shit out of me. Like when that bus door opened, he was standing there. I mean,
I'm sorry. This man was armed and standing on the public transit bus.
With the vest on and everything.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Right. And then the most terrifying part about it is I don't know if this man, like in this particular time I'm talking about, when I went to go get my little eye exam, whatever. The only time he got off the bus was because I was heated, bro. Like he had frightened me and it pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever felt something like where something frightened you and it pissed you off? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why was that even there in the first place? That shouldn't have been there. Like, now I'm upset that y'all didn't upset me. You know what I'm saying? So I got on the phone and I was talking to a comrade pretty loud about it, and he got off the bus. But I realized he got off the bus just before the fucking kids from Buena Park High School would be getting on the bus. So now Orange County Transit Authority has single-handedly made sure that more kids will have police encounters.
I'm just aghast and galled. Nephew Don, what allegiance do we have to an empire or even to a government that uses our resources in ways that we don't agree with? Like, what obligations do we as residents /
Well,
citizens
you're
to
supposed to take
adhere?
off work, Auntie. You're supposed to take off work and go to the meetings, right? Right. Like who the fuck? Like I said, who's free Tuesday at 5 o'clock? Okay. Orange County Transit Authority is their meetings are held once a month, like 3 cities away. Like it's crazy. So what can you do? Because the like what I would holler and say is what I said earlier. Get up here to your local municipality meetings and stuff like that. Make sure you at the city council, your local whatever transit, the school districts too. Another thing that's going on in the school district, the Fullerton Joint Unified School District got a little contract with Boeing, right?
What?
Yeah, and so it costs the entire school district about 10 million a year, right? But the internship that's offered is only offered at the two top schools in the district. So the people on the lower side of the Fullerton Joint District, that all the poor people, versus all them schools up in the hills with the good test scores and stuff like that. There's a disparity there, but everybody paying for the top two schools to get internships to Boeing. 10 million.
Unbelievable. I wanted to ask this. So I saw this question posed by one of the brown bruvs, Southeast Asian bruvs that I follow on TikTok, and he was responding to a question asked of him when Americans ask, well, what can we do? What can America? What can people that live in this country that disagree with what's going on internally and externally? What can we do? And his answer was, well, you can engage in the regime change that your country calls for everyone else to engage in, right? Like, fuck Trump and fuck Netanyahu. But we hear in the US constantly, oh, the people of country X need to rise up and overthrow their leaders. Man said, if Americans actually overthrew their regime, I don't think he was even specifically talking about the Trump regime per se, but I think he meant the regime of hyper capitalism and hyper military hegemony around the world. Like he said, if Americans were to rise up and overthrow that regime of that shit, he said the world would be with you. The world would stand with you if we as a nation did that. But I think that people are afraid about what would come after. If we were to overthrow this system, what comes after? I'm like, well, what do we have? What do we have right now that is worth protecting? Do people feel secure? Do your children seem educated to you? Like, do we have an excellent healthcare system here? Do we have any healthcare system here? Do we have any social safety net worthy of bragging about or boasting or something to be proud of? Like, what is it that we are protecting per se? Democracy? What? Where's that at? I'm abroad with an uterus. I don't have democracy if I live in Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. Like, where's my democracy? You understand, nephew? So I know you understand. I'm just saying that rhetorically, but what will it take for Americans to enact some sort of regime change, not only of parties, but of the system? Like, how much more bad does it have to get before people in this country wake up? Now I am asking you a question, nephew.
Okay, yeah. There we go. No, because I wasn't on because I had accidentally hit a button. And Will, thank you so much for being the amazing engineer that you are. But I do have something for that. So it's only gonna happen. So we gotta stop. I think Donald thinks, this is nobody else's opinion. I think that it's only going to happen, of course, when it hits our doorsteps. Yes. African identity is key. So this is an essay, and it pertains to Musa's point. I got my finger all on the camera, not being a good host. But African identity is key, and we need to understand that what we got going on in front of us is important. Particularly, Will, I wanted to see if we could get to page 70. Oh Lord.
My nephew done brought exhibits.
Right. Up in yeah. Mm-hmm.
He done brought media bits. Run it, baby.
I
Tell.
really, and then wait, and so I wasn't expecting Brother Will to pull it, and so I lost where I was, right? Because I was oogling on the camera and stuff like that. Oh man, I completely lost my place
It's okay.
name.
What's the text again? What is this about?
So this is African identity is key. This is the from the conference of the African Socialist International in 2005.
Okay.
And this is a speech that was given by Chairman Amali Yeshitela, and it was page 89 that I wanted to get to. And Chairman says, we believe that objectively speaking, independently from what's in our heads, whether we're fighting violence in England or in Mississippi or Congo, every struggle that we are engaged in throughout the world is a struggle to facilitate the consolidation of the African nationality and the liberation of our continent and of our people. Objectively speaking, that's what it is. The role of a revolutionary is to help the masses come to a relationship to this objective reality so that what is in our heads is consistent with what's in the world. And I think that specifically speaks back to that point that Musa was talking about, this ideological battle that we kind of fighting, especially particularly against the FBAs and stuff like that. We understand, we have to understand who we are, and we're African, and that hyphen between African and America is a misnomer. It can't happen. Thank you, Brother Will. You can pull our beautiful faces back on up there.
Listen, continue, nephew. Preach. Go on. No, to your point. I mean, I feel for folks that see themselves separate from being African, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and again, I get it. There's a lot of anti-blackness coming from all corners, everywhere. We got anti-blackness coming from everywhere, but at the same time, our fate is tied to the fate of the continent, and that's why I'm kind of encouraged. Like, believe it or not, I actually think we might fuck around and win, even though the current conditions look pretty bleak at the moment. But I feel like because of the accomplishments that the Sahel states have undergone, like I feel as though the reclamation of Africans' ownership over its mineral wealth, over its resources, trying to kick out, the misleadership class that has been, participating along with the colonizers to keep Africa underdeveloped. And I feel as though our folks could have such a revelation and such an awakening, but we have to continue to discredit the likes of Van Jones and the likes of Hakeem Jeffries. We talked about this on the morning show this morning. The likes of, Barack Hussein Obama. Like, niggas still looking to Obama for hope, for hope and change. Don, in 2025, niggas looking for Obama. What Obama got to say? Nobody give a fuck about what Obama got to say. We already saw what Obama did. So anyway, but
yeah. So what happens when your neighbors are truly in jeopardy, right? And like Musa was saying, like, people don't even know our neighbors' name, the neighbors' names and stuff like that. For example, like, there's a weird thing happening. We can't smoke on our patios no more, right? So yeah. But listen, what's happening is, like, people are actually coming up with respiratory issues in our apartment complex. This is another I think. Look, America, do you hear what I'm saying? I think what is happening is there's mold in the buildings. Don't nobody communicate, right? So everybody don't understand that these respiratory issues are everybody's doing it. The babies is coughing, the people that smoke is coughing, the non-smokers are blaming the smokers, and the smokers are feeling the worst of it, but they have a better means of numbing themselves. So it's easy for them to not pay attention to it. But the people with babies that don't smoke, the babies is coughing. You know what I'm saying? And so these are things that happen when we're not communicating. Because these buildings was built These buildings is older than me. No, they older. They older than both. They might be older than my grandmother.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I was gonna say I'm surprised y'all are still there because I've seen in California in particular efforts to raise rents by like 20 and 30% on folks unexpectedly, right? And not we're not talking about like 4-bedroom condos here. You understand? We talk about working class areas where people live and they're hiking the rents and not improving the conditions in the meantime.
So what's the difference, Auntie? When I'm seeing the stuff that CNN reports about, the atrocities that are happening internationally, like what happens now that we can't differentiate? Do you get what I'm saying?
There's so many people of our people of and even of our enemies, right? Like people are oblivious. People are living in a bubble, or people are not recognizing the speed in which things are quickly changing and for the worse when it comes to the erosion of our rights and our ability to speak and even move, protest, all that shit. Like all of that stuff has been compromised for Black folks and indigenous folks since day, but now it's being spread more more liberally around. And even the maggots, I wonder if they are finally peeping some game here, as it pertains to what the Trump administration is willing to spend money on and what they're willing to cut. Right, our communities have been raising this up, the issue about trying to protect Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, Head Start, SNAP, TANF, all that. Like our folks have been on the front lines fighting for that shit. Some poor whites have been in denial about how dependent they were on these things until them things go away. And then you see Trump's little military dick parade. And then you hear that the United States is launching unilateral, unprovoked attacks on Iran. And maybe some of these goofball, poor working class conservative ideological whites will finally put it together.
And then you got some people spitting some Africans spitting that line sounding just like do y'all not understand that y'all spitting the same line? Y'all with them FBA Negroes, do y'all not understand y'all spitting basically the same line? The white supremacists, the not the white supremacists, the colonizer is yeah
all synonyms,
all synonyms, right? Sorry, getting my synonyms confused. Everybody can't smoke that shit. I keep trying to tell y'all.
But yeah, oh my God, when I hear Black people talk about they got to get rid of the immigrants, well, they shouldn't have came here. Jesus, God help us, Lord have mercy. Auntie, y'all sound like crackers. What's going on?
Genuine, like let me infantilize myself right now and just ask, like, what's supposed to be the like end game? What's supposed to be the yield? Like, is it gonna be zero unemployment if they're successful? Is it gonna be free healthcare after?
After what? After they send
all the so-called undesirables, right? You know what I'm saying? What is the end game? What is there? I'm not saying like I'm not trying to spit like I'm trying to rationalize. I literally want to know what people have got on TV or written down and said, after we do this is gonna happen. I need the whereas and resolved. Does that make sense?
It does. And now I'm a bit sheepishly, I'm sheepish in the fact that I did not read Project 2025, right? And I guess
is that where it is though?
I think that is where it is, because apparently they have been executing things directly out of Project 2025, even down to the signal chats orchestrated by Hegseth and the other members of the National security apparatus, because they don't need no records. They can't be getting subpoenaed. They can't be getting their emails and their instant messages. So that's why they took the attack strategy chat to Signal. And I think that was included in Project 2025. But I think that is where it lies, and the goal is to make this Christo-fascist state, this technocracy, where Elon Musk's build his and Jeff Bezos build their corporate villages, and their workers live on the compound, and women are forced to bear children, maybe of their husbands, maybe of their rapists.
Right.
Husband
Girl,
and
you
rapists have the same rights apparently to women's bodies. So
right. Wow. That's
where there's no environmental regulations, where polluters can foul up the water, air, and soil as much as they want to. You know what I'm saying? Where all of our natural resources are stripped, like they want to cut down the last tree, nephew. You understand? They're not going to be happy till every piece of fresh water is polluted or contaminated. It's really perverse. Like it's sick, it's demonic, it is illogical by all humane assessments. But unfortunately, the worst scenario that we can think of, like some Judge Dredd shit or some fucking Matrix shit, think of that shit. Okay,
yeah,
that's exactly where they want to take it. Like, remember in Judge Dredd, they was taking niggas out in the goddamn desert. Like the prison ship was shipping people out. Like, what's the difference between that and Trump's deportation flights to Libya or South Sudan? Like, it's going to get bad. That's why I really want us to get prepared. I want us to make sure that in trust me, I'm trying to prep on a budget, nephew. You understand? And I'm trying to prioritize. Okay, do I get the rain barrel? Do I get the gas can?
No, I didn't already found a less than $400 flight. I've got my visa application. The visa is $125. My Cash App is Little Ham with 2 M's 94.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The visa application, you gotta apply, then the embassy gotta get to you. Then you got to go back in there with your confirmation number and stuff like that and pay the $125. Again, my Cash App is Little Ham with 2 M's 94.
LITTLEHAMM 94 on the Cash App. Listen, hold on. No, but you're not going to Tehran, I don't think, right?
No, Vietnam.
We'll take it. I love the noms.
Yes. Vietnam. Yes. I'm going to study in Hanoi.
Oh, nephew, congratulations. I am still extremely excited for you. Like,
but I'm still finna get my little American excitement. I'm at ASU, Arizona State, right? So I'm using that online modality to give me the freedom to go study global history in Vietnam. So when I do get to teaching the history like I want to, I'll be able to, come back and give my community the best possible instruction in the historical studies.
Uhuru, nephew. Well, listen, I also want you to explore you under 30, nephew, if you want to become a doctor.
I am 30.
Oh, you could become a doctor. And I think I get my Shanghai and my Hong Kong confused. So my folks in that part of the globe don't be upset. But what somebody offered the students in America, who was it?
Wasn't it Cuba? Like what's the name that was just saying?
I think it was school? In addition to Cuba, because I saw the announcement. It was an Asian man making the announcement. So and unfortunately, I can't remember, was he in Hong Kong or Shanghai or China proper? But he said that they was accepted, or they open arms to the foreign students who had their study visas canceled in the US. So, baby, the world is your oyster. Like, check it all out. I'm so very proud of you, though. I'm so excited I'm so excited for you to go to Vietnam. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
I'm gonna come back. I'm bringing it to I'm not, going. My goal is to come because we have to be like, for example, we need more Black teachers. Period. Right now our kids are they're in jeopardy. right? The largest school district in the United Snakes. I think you told me that is LAUSD. In fact,
I think it is.
they spend 11 million a year on police.
I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest.
I could be wrong. That last time that I looked was it was that was 2024's budget, so it might be up to they was and they don't use a lot and it goes up and they get that double, so it might be close to 22, 23.
Yeah, fuck all that. No police. Get the police out the schools. No ICE in schools. No regular ass police in schools. See, that's why these children don't be bopping their racist classmates in the face when the racist classmates drop the N word, because the police is already in the goddamn school coming to charge coming to charge a teenager with assault for a high school fight. Get out.
They are so ready to do that. It's crazy. I've only been an observer, and you should just use. All I've done is observe. I'm not even at the given instruction level and stuff like that. And it's just like, why is G.I. Joe here?
Come on.
Why is I'm seeing one police here and then getting on the bus and seeing another police on the bus? Guaranteed.
Terrifying.
That literally means somebody is going to die.
Right. That's right.
Brother Will came up.
Can I add somebody to the conversation real quick so we can be out? Chichi Matcha is in the chat too.
Hey,
Chichi Matcha. Hey.
Hello.
Studio.
How are y'all?
Doing good. Sis, how are you?
Okay. I wanted to add to the conversation real quick.
Yes.
In terms of like addressing the anti-blackness, or what I like to term it, internalized white supremacy. But I wanted to give a little insight into like the ways that happens. A lot of times that we don't really think of, because it's not organically occurring. Because if the majority of the world's people are dark, we started out in Africa, like it's not organically occurring. And I wanted to because when Musa was saying like the empire, like they plan years in advance for something. When I was overseas one time, and this was in somewhere in overseas in Asia, and Discovery Channel, we don't really think about like the US media, what they do overseas. And so there was a program, and it was an hour long, and this was in Connecticut, and it was more like First 48, like A&E First 48, but this was Discovery Channel. And I'm thinking like animals, documentaries and stuff, the kind of stuff that Discovery Channel did here. This was a black man in Connecticut who had a trope of like violated a white woman. This neighborhood was a wealthy neighborhood, like manicured lawns, and it was like an hour long. White man after white man after white man talking about this black man. Oh, I wanted to rip his face, and oh, I wanted to do this. They showed a mugshot. Now, nobody looks good in a mugshot, but I'm sitting here like, so this man got into this neighborhood, violated this woman. Y'all caught him and got him to the station to process him. When black men get shot for sleeping in their cars, like, you want me to believe this? But the way the narrative spun, and it was just, and it went, the show was an hour long for something that could have been like a 3-minute news item. And so I didn't realize that Empire shows that kind of stuff overseas. So oftentimes, and I'm sure that wasn't the only place. So when people come here, or there's immigrant communities, they already have this propaganda that's in their heads, because the slickness of like, this is the American, quote unquote programming that you're showing to other people. And so again, poor black man juxtaposed against this like wealthy white neighborhood. I'm still like, I don't believe that he got in and then got, like, y'all caught him and he got out alive. But it just went on. And like every single, like the sheriff said something, somebody's husband said something. And it was just a slew of exclusively white men for an hour talking about this one case and talking about this one man. And so, yeah, I just want to say, like, that's the kind of like programming that shows overseas, that it's stuff that white people show about us that we don't even understand that is happening. And then people get here. What else are they going to believe? When you're believing, oh, well, America is like, the American exception. You work hard, you can get, you work hard, you can get something. And so then they encounter, oh, well, see, they're just like what I saw on TV already. So yeah, I just wanted to add it. Like this is not, it's as annoying as it is also being deliberately cultivated. Yeah, so I just wanted to add just because
I appreciate that context, Chichimacha, because again, we get to a certain point in our lives and our understanding and our knowledge, and we kind of assume that, doesn't everybody know that Black people fought for civil rights? I thought that was a known fact around the world. I guess it isn't, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people even who come from the continent, people who come from Asia, Southeast Asia, they really may not understand that they are standing on the shoulders of the sacrifices, the literal blood sacrifices of Black folks from this continent, from this rotten colony. Like, it wouldn't be no integrated neighborhoods, wouldn't be no housing, wouldn't be no educate. Y'all wouldn't have fuck all if it wasn't for what Black folks did and laid down in sacrifice. It wasn't like the whites were only keeping Black people out. Right? No, we don't want niggas, but Japanese, yes, y'all can come on in and go to our schools and live amongst us. No, it was not that. Nope, not at all. But listen, go ahead, Chichimacha. Go ahead.
Real quick, there's another layer to it. Like when we also have, like, this was during the pandemic, and I wish I could remember this professor's name. She was out of UCLA, Korean American, and she said she was, people had time to think, and she asked her mom, because her mom ran a store in a poor Black neighborhood. Her parents did, an uncle did. She thought about it. They didn't come here with anything. And so she's like, Mom, how did you get the money to start the store? Like, what was the collateral for the bank to give you the loan? And her mom looks at her, she's like, well, we just promised to pay it back. And they said, okay. And she's like, Mom, do you understand it doesn't work like that for Black people? She's like, well, what do you mean? And so then they started having this conversation. So for me, I saw like people, I assumed like there was like some money being pooled together, like uncle and auntie getting together as a clan, as a family. No, white folk, they just give them a loan. She said like had nothing but the clothes on their back. And she promised to pay it back, and the bank said okay. And that's how oftentimes too, where like more stories have come to me that's similar to that, where they're deliberately put into our neighborhood in conflict. And then if you don't know anything and you got this American dream, well, work hard. If you come with nothing and they give you everything, why would you assume that, well, we just must be lazy? Like, why? How? It's a setup. Like, you're setting us up in ways that we don't even get to think about. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. But
I appreciate that context, Chichimacha. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, brother, nephew Don, I'm gonna have to put a pin in you, baby, because I got to turn Will loose, because Will is doing great things, and he's got some stuff he needs to take care of. And I told y'all, my perimenopause is now 4 rounds beating me. My ass is getting whooped by this perimenopause right now. So I'm gonna hang up the phone. I'm gonna get off the phone. But thank you, Chichimacha.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Terry, for that little for that context.
Thank you, baby. And nephew Don, thank you so much for always bringing me some Black sunshine. I love when you come in and just brighten everything with your boundless positivity and smart assery. I love it. I love it. I wish I could kiss your face. I love it so much. So thank you so much. And big up to, of course, our kinfolk, good Musa. Thank you, Musa, for calling in and giving us that Buffy the Body, aka James Baldwin. Musa giving us a lot of everything.
Dropping the mic.
Man. Like a champ. So thanks to all that came in. What's up to Fire Fam? Please like the video on your way out. If y'all got some money, run everybody some money. But $ BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me something, whatever. Y'all know what it is. Patreon, BID, all the things. We appreciate you and love you all so much. Don't forget the Remix Morning Show, Black Liberation Media, 8 a.m. Eastern. I will be back on the show Thursday along with my brother, the Air Doctor, maybe Camus, because Kamal be giving us the middle finger sometimes. So it's whatever. Like we'll work it out, and I'll see y'all back here on Friday for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Thanks to everybody. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. Thanks to my friends that called in. Love you guys. See y'all later. Bye bye. Peace, 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 peace.